back to the Gift of You podcast. I'm your host, Esther Ballin, and this podcast is all about your self development. We unpack topics and ideas that can help you get in touch with yourself, who you are, and who you came into this world to be. Why? Because being in alignment with who Hashem put you into this world to be is the best feeling in the world. And when we are forcing a narrative that doesn't match with us on a deep level, it can be the most painful thing in the world. In this episode, we have a really special guest. I'm so excited for you all to meet her, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard of her. Her name is Adina from Master My Space. Master My Space is a luxury organizing company located in Cleveland, Ohio, where I'm from. Master My Space is way more than an organizing brand. It's all about mastering your inner space so your external space can be mastered as well. Hi, Adina. Thank you for coming on the podcast. It's so good to see you.
Same.
I was very lucky 6 years ago to work very briefly for Adina in her business when I lived in Cleveland, and I learned a lot in just a couple months just working for you, and I still use and implement some of the strategies to maintain a peaceful environment in my life today. The information that she has to share is very, very powerful. So let's hear, Adina. Tell us about Master My Space. What do you do internally, externally? What do you think people should know about your business?
We are the industry leader when it comes to luxury home organizing, but not in the sense of just making things look pretty. I feel like a lot of people can make that happen. It's really understanding the way we work, the emotional connection to our belongings, the flow. It's creating a space that supports your best life. We're based in Cleveland, and
Mm-hmm.
we create absolutely magnificent, we work in absolutely magnificent homes, but most
Right.
of the time, those homes are not even functional. And creating a home that meets the demands of your everyday life, instead of having that underlying stress all the time, that I feel like that is our genius.
Tell us the difference in experience between somebody before their transformation and after their transformation. Bridge that gap for us. Before they work with you, what are they struggling with? Can you put into words the struggle that a lot of us are experiencing?
Many different points. And being that we typically work in households with families, you have a lot of different dynamics as well. Usually the client that reaches out to me, she already did the DIY. She tried it. She even bought the home edit bins. Literally, we have like stacks of home edit bins sometimes that don't work for the space. It's not about getting bins. That's a Band-Aid. That's a Band-Aid solution. I'm so into the root cause of what is causing this to begin with. We
Mm-hmm.
need to get to the cause. And if we don't get to the cause, we're going to constantly have a recurring pattern. You're going to constantly have a Sunday reset. Of course, life happens. Of course, you have to put things back where they belong, but you're constantly redoing your systems. That is not
Right.
called the system. That is called,
Right.
that space is mastering you. You are not the master of that space.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as what is the transformation that she experiences, she gets clarity. Okay. Oftentimes you're like, I'm not sure where to put this. I don't know what to do with that.
Right.
Or you're so maxed out that you're done and you're like, I'm just gonna, I can't even think. Now,
Right.
you have systems in place. It actually creates the home on autopilot. We want to create a home that's on autopilot so that you eliminate as many decisions. We make the decisions up front. Clutter is delayed decisions. Not knowing what to do with something, it ends up on a flat surface because flat surfaces are magnets for clutter. That's the reality. So the transformation that she experiences, it's so deep. It's so internal. I'm saying for my business, this is how I work. I work from the inside out. I feel like it would paint a better picture if I share how I got into this. Just one moment. I need a tissue for this. So I love doing this in January because it really brings me back to it was 13 years ago where from the outside, it looked like my life was together. I looked like I had it together. Okay. And to this day, I think some people think that, but that's beside the point. And the truth is that no matter how hard I tried to keep house, I just couldn't do it. Every single time I was redoing my pantry, I was redoing my closets, and I color coded since I was like old enough to understand colors. Okay. I would organize my room before I would study for a test. Like that was just how I operated as a kid. My notes were color coded. Oh my gosh, if you borrowed my notes, I mean,
Oh my God.
you had to return them in perfect condition. I was one of those weird people that were very particular about who I lent my notes out to. But
You
I
were
was not
probably so pretty.
uh, so so I couldn't understand why I, who thought was a naturally organized person, why can't I keep house? It got me thinking, what is going on? I was just organizing my stuff. I was organizing the outside environment constantly to the point of depletion. I was just exhausted by this. It just felt like never ending. And then one
Hmm.
day I remember saying, oh, I really want to declutter this house. And I remember we went out that night and I came home to no home of our own because my house burned down. I said, God, this is not what
Wow.
I had in mind.
No, when I said
What?
declutter, not
Declutter.
quite.
I'm like, God
Yeah,
literally purged my house. I
that is
got God, the
crazy.
master organizer, help me. That's how bad I needed
That's
it.
insane. So you
Uh,
came home and your house was gone.
basically, yeah. And yeah, thank God. I'm just thinking back like to my neighbors who also had to move, which is, by the way, I feel called to say this just in case anybody else needs to hear this. Get renter's insurance, because even if your house is not the one that gets the fire, well, nobody should, but God forbid,
Right. In
um,
case.
your neighbor could have a fire that will impact you. So that's what happened with us.
Oh my
Two of
gosh.
my neighbors had to move out. It was like a townhouse that was connected. So unfortunately, they too had to move out. We lost our belongings. They had smoke damage.
Wow.
So that just, I don't know why I felt called to say that. Everybody should be safe. Anyway, so, and in that moment, when I realized, I literally like, and I was a very sentimental person, like
Hmm.
really sentimental. So the first thought, believe it or not, was like, oh my gosh, but I'm a sentimental person. And I just kept on thinking, like, what about all my sentimentals? Right. And I
Right.
literally just went, like, I tapped my head, my body, like it just was a very visceral reaction. It was like, oh my gosh, I'm okay. Like, I'm okay. We're okay.
Right.
We're alive. And that's what
Right.
matters. These are things
Right.
that can be replaced.
Hmm.
And in that moment, I realized, okay, this is my second chance because I had to start over. We started over, and this time
Hmm.
I'm going to get it right.
Hmm.
And I should preface by
Wow.
saying that way before the fire, I, the, I was already so deep in research because I wanted to understand what is going on with my relationship with clutter. And
Hmm.
once I had that aha moment of recognizing that there are root causes, recurring causes of why clutter keeps on happening. And when you address the cause, and that comes from within,
Hmm.
then you have the secret sauce for lasting organization.
Wow.
And
That
that's,
is so, okay, keep going. That is
yeah,
so, yeah. That's so deep. I think so many people look at an organizing company, which is why I was so excited for you to share. And they see a very external business. And I know that Master My Space is anything but that. The external result that you receive is a reflection of your internal work,
love how you said that.
right?
Love that.
Yeah, I guess it's
Yes.
accurate.
I always say,
Yeah,
you know, okay, our work is gorgeous. It really is. It's like
it
breathtaking.
is. It
It's
is.
Instagram worthy. Like, it's
Yeah,
the work. It really is.
yeah,
I have an amazing, incredible team, and they
yeah,
just have the vision. And oh my gosh, they execute it like wow. But I always say that's a byproduct of what we do. That's not our like main. That
right.
is a standard, but that's not our goal. Our goal is for you to function in a full capacity. And yes,
Yeah,
it's going to be gorgeous because you're that kind of person that appreciates aesthetics and you're that kind of
yeah,
person, but you want flow, you want function,
right,
not just
right,
form.
right. It's like you don't want glass dolls. Every time you move them, they shatter. Like you want functionality. If it looks beautiful and it's not functional, you haven't solved any problems. I want to go back to where you went through that crazy transformation, where you lost your home and all of your belongings to a fire, I think a lot of people could have gone through a similar experience and become a victim and been like, I was just getting started. Like, I was just getting started. Things were just getting good. Hashem, I was about to start something and like do something that my soul wants me to do, that you want me to do. And like, you just took it all away from me. You just made my life exponentially more difficult. Okay, maybe you don't want this for me, and I can't do this. Like, this is too much. I need to just go inside of myself, have a pity party, be there for my kids. I can't do it anymore. What made you turn over the leaf and be like, this is an opportunity?
Wow. I don't think I've ever been asked that question, and it just brought
Really?
up so much tears. Yeah. Like it's
Wow.
um um wow, Esther, you're so good. um, I'll tell you, for me, it was I had such a burning passion to do this right. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew I could do this right. And I so badly wanted to do this right. And yes, I could have turned into a victim. And really, how I got into it was I noticed that, I wasn't the only person affected by the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Belongings, rather, not, thank God nobody was hurt, but our lives were turned a little bit upside down. We had to move. I was actually expecting my first after a couple of years of not being able to expect. And
Wow.
I literally, I think the reason I teared up, I remember that weekend, all like maybe it was around that weekend, I said, oh, thank God. It's a very uncomplicated pregnancy. Thank God my life is
Right.
finally, pieced together.
Right.
And like, not like what could go wrong. I don't think I thought that, but it was that concept of everything's just going so right. And it's amazing. And I know people have complications and I don't, like, woohoo.
Mm-hmm.
And and then we had the fire. I saw the fire as an opportunity to start over. It was also very telling for me how other people reacted to the same kind of circumstance as I experienced, but we had very different reactions. And that is how I got into the different organizing personality types. I realized, hmm, the way I relate to my belongings is not the way other people relate to their belongings.
Mm-hmm.
And and at that time I was teaching. I have a master's in special ed, and I would differentiate in my classroom. And the concept of differentiating and organizing was like this aha
Mm-hmm.
moment that I had. Wait a second, we're not all the same. We all have different personality types. No wonder the house can't stay because I set it up for my way of thinking. Well, what if
Mm-hmm.
I set it up for a different way of thinking for other people that are using the same space in the household? And what is that going to look like? What happens
Mm-hmm.
when I go to the hospital? Is my house falling apart? And literally, that is how I build my systems, mind you, because that was something very important to me. And
Mm-hmm.
just recently, I had the flu after my kids all had the flu. Thank God we're all better. I honestly, when I came downstairs, I was like, okay, for sure my house is upside down. But it wasn't. My kids all picked up the slack or whatever it is. They put the things away. They knew where everything goes. And like, they're not any different than other kids.
Right.
And they just knew where everything goes. And they were able to help me in a way that I couldn't really be there for my family. But my house was not falling apart. It gave me a chance to recover. And that is what I was trying to do all along when I try to set up systems in my house the first time, was that it should give me peace, it should give me clarity, it should give me confidence, it
Right.
should give me I hosted like crazy. We hosted all the time, every single weekend, tons and tons
Mhm.
of people. And the stress of hosting, don't open that counter. Oh, that's embarrassing.
Right.
There's shame, there's different things
Right.
that come up,
Right.
and also, it was just not efficient. And I like
Right.
it to be very efficient, a system. And also, I kept on thinking, if I am struggling, how about the person that's a free spirited personality? The
Right.
type B, type C
Right.
mom that I aspire
Right.
maybe one day to be. Like, how is she managing? Don't tell me it does not bother her. Of
Right.
course, it bothers
Right.
her. Not only that, her
Right.
kids are being impacted. Ma, where's my
Yes.
shoe? Where's,
Right.
oh my gosh, you forgot to do
Yeah.
laundry again? It's
Right.
like, how
Right.
is she doing this? And this is
Right.
really what got me so, 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 so deep into like, I guess, solving the problem because I
Right.
didn't know how, like, what was available out there to
Mhm.
help. And I had this burning passion inside of me. And
Mhm.
a lot of people kept on telling me, Adina, you really could do this professionally. I'm like, who's paying a
Who's paying?
professional organizer? Like,
I
that's
love that.
weird.
Yeah.
Like, you could do this yourself, but that is actually one of the biggest misconceptions and one of the reasons people don't start because they think they can do it themselves.
Mhm.
And to be honest with
Mhm.
you, I actually wanted to hire a professional organizer before our fire because I wanted somebody to help me. And like I said, I
Mm.
thought it was a quote unquote naturally organized person. Now, the reason I say quotes is
Right.
organization is a skill and it can be learned.
Mhm. Oh, that's so interesting. But
Absolutely.
when it's set up for you.
Absolutely. And also, you know how you worked with us like 5, 6 years ago?
Mhm.
Not the same. It's not the same. Forget not the same business. We have so many more techniques. We have so many more.
Mhm.
Every single client that we go to, I just feel like our skill set just deepens and the expertise just what's the word? You just solidifies and
Yeah.
just hones in so much
Yeah.
more. And I do this all the time.
Yeah.
And I
You were
and I
amazing 5 or 6 years ago. So,
absolutely. I think we did amazing work and
and
I
you
still here.
worked and you had like even 5 or 6, and I think I want to like emphasize this point a little bit to anybody who's listening who is a business owner or is a starting out aspiring business owner, that even as you're learning your skills, even if you're not perfect yet, you can still get paid a lot of money, because like Hashem will send you the clients that need whatever you have to offer in that moment. And just because in 5 years they're going to be 500 times better, um, they are getting exactly what they need and the version of you that they need in that moment. And you should never feel, right? Like, but I'm going to get better. I'm insecure. And I'm talking to myself here too, as somebody who started a podcast a month ago, but like, I'm going to get
You're
better
doing
and
amazing.
I'm
I'm
going to
blown
learn.
away.
Oh, you're
I'm
so
blown away. I
kind.
really am.
Thank
I'm
you.
so impressed with your questions. And I thought this was not rehearsed before, people. I wish
No.
I had like a little script so that I would feel more confident showing up here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just speak from
Thank
my
you.
heart, you know?
Yeah, but that's all I want. That's all I want. And like you said before we started, like you are going to bring, if you put your ego out of the way, you'll bring through the messages that Hashem wants, whoever is listening. And for me, by the way, this is a very personal, what's the word, selfishly motivated podcast because I really wanted to hear what you had to say. And I'm like, oh, if I want to hear it, I know a lot of other people want to hear it. But yeah, so when you're honing your craft, it's okay to sell yourself and get paid. That's how you hone your craft. And like, don't feel bad about that.
And I want to, can I add to that?
Please,
I
please do.
think I loved what you said. First of all, 5 years ago, did I know I was going to be here 5 years? Not in a million years. Um, but also, if you know your truth, like I was so deeply passionate. I knew in my kishkas, this business is going to thrive. Back then, especially in Cleveland, I had to educate people. What is a professional organizer?
Yeah.
Okay, like
Cleveland
what is
is not a big place. Cleveland is not New York or LA.
no, no, no. And I had to just even what is the value? And even for myself, I had to learn that because I left teaching. And to me, I thought that was like such a sacred profession. And here I am organizing people's homes. Like, please, what's so holy about that?
Right.
Now, if you talk to
Right.
me, are you serious? I am doing God's work. I literally come in and I work with a lot of non-Jews and I work with the gamut. It doesn't make a difference. I believe I am a vessel for God's incredible goodness that comes through the transformation of having an organized home. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that so strongly. Before I come into somebody's house, I actually pray and I pray that God gives me the tools, the insights, everything that I'm needing because God knows these people. God knows what their past was like. God knows how they interact together. God knows what their future is going to be like. So help me set up systems. I have the structure. I have the formula, like it's there. But what is
Mm-hmm.
that they're needing? How are
Mm-hmm.
they needing this system to
Mm-hmm.
be set up, God? I want it to be
Mm-hmm.
so aligned with them. And I feel God is my partner in this business.
Mm-hmm.
That is my CEO, and that is how I run
Mm-hmm.
my business. And
Wow.
having the passion, and that's what I had back then. I had a burning, crazy passion. Even if people were not like aware of what an organizer was, I knew the impact that I could make
Crazy.
in people's homes, and that is
Yeah.
what motivated me. And
Right.
yes, it's on a very different scale now, but at
Right.
the same time, the essence is there. You know, God, oh, I was just listening to Dr. Lieberman, David Lieberman's audiobook on how bitachon works. I actually bought another audiobook and I tried to open that audiobook and punked the part that I needed to hear. I I I'm like, God, if you want me to do something else, let me know. And you know what he said? I think he was quoting the Or Chaim, or I don't want to quote the wrong person.
Okay. We don't need
Um,
names. It's fine.
but he quoted saying that God gives everybody a certain personality, a certain physical build, a certain um, desire for their job. It like we're meant to
Mm.
love our work.
Yeah.
How parnasa comes, how the income comes, that comes from God. But there
Mm-hmm.
is a reason why you have a passion for something. You have a passion for something so that you could pursue it because that's where your light shines. That is where you can make a difference in this world.
Right. Right. Right, exactly. That's so beautiful. And that's exactly the messaging of this podcast is Hashem put you here to be you. And when you start living other people's narratives and you ignore your own desires that were hand given to you by God, like the next person has different desires and passions than you do. But we all live in our own heads, so we all think everybody thinks our thoughts and everyone has our desires. And who doesn't want what I want? Everyone wants it. No, you're wrong. Not everyone wants it. You want it. And also, it's not really our business what the next person wants. But I think that's a really, it's so important. Like, exactly like you said, exactly how you said. It was so beautiful, it was so perfect. Hashem gave you, and you quoted even from somewhere in like the commentaries, which I love even more. Like, you were custom built for your role in this world. And the second we start negating parts of that role, like saying, um, what I want isn't spiritual enough. You're like, oh, why is home organizing not a spiritual thing? Teaching is a spiritual thing. Or what I want can't support my family. It was not easy at first to make money to support your family doing this. The second you start giving excuses for why your desires don't make sense or aren't good enough, you're not going to be happy. God's going to have to continue sending you messages. You're going to be out of alignment and you're going to feel that push and that pull and that tug and why do I want this? And you came here for a reason. You came here for a reason. Stop worrying about the narratives of the world. Stop worrying about what other people want from you or expect from you. And just be quiet and listen. That's what's missing today. That's why we're all carbon copies of the next person. That's why this podcast is called The Gift of You, right? You are a gift,
Love
right?
it.
You are a gift to the world. Stop depriving the world of your gifts. And when you give those gifts to the world, you'll be the biggest gift to yourself because you'll be happy. You'll feel joy, right? So I really love how you like brought that all home. So thank you.
I'm like, you reminded me of something. When I was in camp, I was a newsletter editor, and one of the things we like put in back in the day, I don't think it was called a meme, but it was like, God made you an original. Why stoop to be a copy?
So I want to bring it back to a little more of the practicality, the applicable practicality of like internal organization, external organization. Could you leave us or share with us a couple of messages that you feel like more people need to hear and understand about organizing their home, about organizing their space, about maybe contradicting organizational types, maybe share with us the most common organizational push and pull you see in a home, that you feel like you could yell from the rooftops and it would really just help the world if you could.
Okay. I love that. Number one, you are not the mess. A lot of times we personalize the mess. A lot of times
Mm-hmm.
we think it's because of us. I Whenever I come into somebody's home, people always ask me, "Oh, is this the worst home you've ever been to?" first of all, I would never answer that. And I don't think that way. I think when I see a home, I see its best life, I see its potential, I see what it could be. But also, all your belongings, your clutter, your everything tells a story. And that is
Mm-hmm.
what I see. I see somebody that's maxed out. I see somebody that tried so hard. And it could be you. You tried so hard. You tried to get the containers. You tried to reorganize. You tried to shift here. You should try to throw everything out. You might have gotten in one of those moods one day and like, that's it. Everybody's going. And like your kids are scared that maybe they're next, you know? but,
That instability is scary for kids. Like, I'm gonna throw all your toys out. Like, what?
um, but I will tell you that you are not the mess. What those belongings are saying, what that clutter is saying, that there are so many things it's saying. Everybody has a different thing that it's saying. And that's actually why I created my course. Clutter, it's
Mm-hmm.
not, it's, clutter is not you, it's me. Like, or something like that, or goodbye. I don't, it's a cute, catchy title, but I have to remember what it is. Anyway, but the course is valuable. But anyway, but I just want to say that what is the message? That you are not the mess. It's a season of life. And sometimes you cannot be the one to set up the systems, but if somebody does it for you, you will run with it. But that doesn't mean you can't, don't beat yourself up. If this doesn't feel
Right.
natural to you, sometimes getting help, and I'm not talking about help from family who quote unquote have good intentions, but understanding, even if you don't get any help or any of that, understanding the root causes and your relationship is where the
Mm-hmm.
healing is going to happen. It's where this is literally what happened with me. This is what happened so many times, and I saw it over and over and over again with so many people that I I ended up doing like a lot of private sessions on this, and then I'm like, I'm doing this nonstop. Let me just make it a course, which is why I have this course that's available to help understand how we relate to our belongings so that we could get to the root. Are you holding
Mm-hmm.
on? Why are you holding on? You know, sometimes people have a very hard time letting go, but why? Why is that happening? Is it because you're very sentimental? Is it because you're afraid? You're afraid that what if I need it one day? What if I need it one day? It could be good intentions and
Mm-hmm.
it could be fear based. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you have to know your personality type. Where is it
Right.
coming from? Understanding where it's
Right.
coming from. So I always said, that if I'm going to need it one day, well, do I believe God provided for me everything I needed when I needed it? If the answer is yes, then why am I holding on to it? So much so, I go, I reflect back on all the times in my life where God showed up for me in ways I could not have shown up for myself in any capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Mm-hmm.
when I was expecting, we were actually dirt poor. We were like we were doing cola, like we were just financially like I remember thinking, how am I gonna get maternity clothing? Like this is not, in my budget right now.
No way. I cannot believe you just brought that example up. Okay, because
Yeah.
maternity clothing is something I hold on to.
Well, no, I'm saying my first. So
Right.
I remember thinking like, how am I gonna pay for this? And you know what? And God also knew I have very good taste, meaning like
You do.
fancy taste. Back in the day, I'm saying before Colol days, I put it this way. Somebody told me I'm not cut out for Colol. Okay. Because they're like, you like, you know, yeah. But thank God I did it for 8 years. So woohoo. So cut out or not. Here to tell the tale.
Right. You
Anyway, but
survived.
but back, oh, I loved it. I'm saying that was, Torah. For me, everything comes back to spirituality and living our
Right.
highest self, our
Right.
belongings. And I don't believe in negating. If you like nice things, this is why people also like sometimes people ask, like, "Are you jealous of these people's homes?" I'm like, "No, I absolutely love my home. I love my life. I don't want to be anybody else but me. Thank
Right.
you."
Right.
And
Right.
also, like, ugh, isn't it like so excessive? I don't view it as excessive. I view it as stunning and beautiful. And you could use all this. God gave it to us in this world. I don't know why we're taking this tangent, but okay, maybe somebody needs to hear that. Um, God gave this to us, and how are you
Right.
using it? Like one of
Right.
the most gorgeous closets we've ever done, you know, I'm inspired by that lady. What does she do? She has a bunch of t-shirts from a hospital. So I was like, I didn't know you're a nurse. She's like, I'm not a nurse. She's not a nurse. Um, she's like, I just volunteer at the hospital to hold the NICU babies. I'm like, you have the most gorgeous collection of shoes and handbags I've ever
Wow.
seen in my life, and you volunteer at the NICU.
Wow.
Okay, I want
Wow.
to be you when I grow up. Like,
When I grow up. Yeah.
um, but back to, I know you keep on asking. I could go on so many tangents.
It's
Um,
okay. I love this. This is perfect. This is so fun. So
I
we were talking,
answered. I was building it up, and I don't think I answered your question.
you were building it up. You're saying you are not the clutter. Your
You're not.
clutter is
No,
symptomatic
no,
of,
okay, we got back to the maternity clothing.
yeah,
That's oh, so
yeah,
well, let me tell you. So we had the fire, and guess what? People were like, "Oh, Adina needs new clothing." Because like everything got burnt down except what I was wearing, and I was like, and I thought I was gonna hide my pregnancy because I didn't like want people to know I was expecting, but people were like, "Girl, you are showing." I was like, "Really? I thought I'm not. Oh my gosh." So, but who cares? Because I got the most gorgeous maternity clothing from super
don't
fancy
worry.
ladies from Saks, and like I had like every name brand that like that lady wore. I was like, God, you are
Nice.
so good. My maternity clothing cost more than my whole house.
That's insane.
So yeah, so you see, like God provides in so many ways. It does not have to be this drastic. You know, He could also send you a job. You could whatever it is. But okay, so if you're holding on to something, why are you holding it on to? Because of fear? Like, well, if you believe
Right.
God could provide for you, then
Right.
like, and if it's because of size, your body, like, well, if you were to gain weight or lose weight, then wouldn't you get something that fits your body? Our bodies change, even if we're not the
Mm-hmm.
same number on the scale. Our physique changes. So
Mm-hmm.
why are we holding on to this? If it
Mm-hmm.
was expensive, okay, there is expensive clutter. There's such a concept. But is it
Mm-hmm.
taking over your life?
Right. Right.
And
Right.
I always say you want to measure is the stress of keeping it. Is it more stressful to keep it and maintain it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you constantly like gifts? We have that a lot of times with gifts. A lot of times people get gifts and the stress of keeping that gift, that china. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
but I got it when I was like,
Mm-hmm.
honey, you're not using it. You don't love it. It
Right.
doesn't serve a purpose.
Right. Right.
It's stressing you out. It's not letting you live in your aligned higher self. Are we
Right.
holding on to things because of the version of us from the past?
Right. Yes.
Is it not letting us be the
Yeah.
future version?
Yeah.
So I just want to say you are not the mess. You are in a season of life that just sometimes transitions cause a lot of clutter. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a baby, you got a new job, you're moving. All these are transitions.
Mm-hmm. Right.
God forbid if somebody got ill, like,
Mm-hmm.
or even somebody getting married, like happy times, hard times, they're
Right.
all transitions. They
Right.
will contribute, and you have to make adjustments to your new life as far as that goes. So you are not the mess, and everybody has an organizing personality type, even if they think they don't. You just may not know. You might be
Interesting.
the personality,
Interesting.
and you may be living with somebody more linear and more
Mm-hmm.
perfectionist type. So the system for
Mm-hmm.
the perfectionist is not going to be the same system for the creative. The linear personality type, the perfectionist personality type, anything on the counters is an eyesore for them. For the
Right.
creative, they're out of sight, out of mind. So how do you create a system that works for
Right.
both?
Right. So you're saying, I just want to I want to emphasize that. So you're saying, let's say you're working with a family, with a couple. One has this like very linear personality type where if they see it, it's a bother versus the creative, because I feel like a lot of people have this. And if they don't see it, they don't remember it. They don't remember they have it. How how do you help them both be happy?
So the way it works is it depends on the space. If it's your own personal space for the perfectionist, you create systems that are aligned with them. They can handle opaque bins. They just need a label, not a handwritten label, because that would like flip them out. They need a gorgeous label. Okay.
You
The
have
creative
nice label printers, I know.
the creative the creative need can have like literally like just um painter's tape or just handwritten that post-it note, whatever works. It's a visual system. Now if it's a joint space, I always say you need to opt for the creative personality type. For
Mm,
the one that's more free spirited, a lot of times they tend to have ADHD tendencies, executive functioning, And they are superstars at what they do. You are not
Mm-hmm.
one up because you're more organized or perfectionist. You're not one down. This is God gave us different strengths and we all shine
Yes.
differently. And organizing is not their strength, but something else that they can bring to this world, nobody can.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
And they don't have to be bogged down by this. Like that's
Right.
not their life calling. Call somebody else that
Right.
knows how to do this.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
and so when let's say, but the perfectionist might say, "Oh, let me set up the systems." Well, if you're setting up the systems for your creative child, for your spouse, whatever it is, you have to make sure the systems are visible. And I always say you want to eliminate as many steps as possible. This is
Mm-hmm.
not where you get your steps in. This is where you eliminate as many steps, especially with creatives. The perfectionists, they can handle, let's say the spices are in one area. Actually just had a client like that. She was a very practical and a perfectionist personality type. She had most of her spices in the pantry. She had to walk back and forth, back and forth. For the creative, that's a nightmare. Like, do I
Right.
have oregano? I don't know. I'll just buy it again. I'm in the store. They come home, they have
Right.
three of them. Like.
Right. That's
Um,
me.
so you want to have a system that's clear and that
Right.
eliminates many steps. You have it on like right by the stovetop. The flow
Mm-hmm.
makes a difference. You don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
going back and forth because you're least likely to put things away if it takes that many steps. It's not just
Yes.
about creating a
You're
system that
not lazy.
you're not. That's the message. You're not lazy. Your systems are just not supporting you.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And you also have a certain bandwidth and a capacity. And you have to work within that capacity. Create systems that feel just natural. If it feels like I always use this example, if it feels like having um, a beach ball underwater, and the moment you let go, what happens?
Yes. It floats up.
It just goes haywire. If that's what
Yeah.
your organization feels like, it is not natural to you. It is not
Mm-hmm.
natural. The systems were not natural to your nature.
Right.
And create systems that are supernatural to your nature.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing this for years and years and years. This is what we do. You
Right.
want to create systems that feel aligned with the way you work. Don't
Right.
of course we want to change the habits and like be better. But like don't make this hard for yourself. Create
Right.
visual
Right.
systems. The bins
Right.
that you're getting are clear, the
Right.
labeled.
Right.
Let's say you're doing laundry, set the timer. Set the
Right.
timer of change the load. Otherwise you're gonna have to
Right.
do the load again.
Right.
And for the
Right.
perfectionists, they do laundry as every personality type has their like strengths and like the way they operate best. The perfectionists, as the hamper's getting filled, they they do laundry. For the creative, they wait for the hamper to get completely filled and then they
Right.
do laundry. But
Right.
knowing that about you helps. It's a lot of
Right.
self-awareness, a lot of
Right.
what is that
Right.
transformation?
Right.
Really, really being emotionally honest with yourself. This takes a
Right.
lot of emotional maturity and honesty.
Right.
It's not
Right.
just physical, it's a manifestation of what's going on. Outside is
Yeah.
just a
In turn.
manifestation of
Yeah.
what's going on inside.
Mm-hmm. And once you do this, it opens up space in your life for your focus to like, finally, it's like instead of laundry taking 4 hours of your week and 10 hours of brain space, all it takes is 4 hours of your week. Or maybe you realize that you need a laundry service and it takes no hours of your week. Like just the brain space I could imagine that it creates for people who are so hindered and inhibited in their day to day life is life changing.
Yeah. You want to eliminate as many decisions and also delegate as much help as you can get. You just reminded me, my daughter is a mother's helper. She thought she's going to start off, she wanted to make some cash for camp. And she thought she was going to start off watching babies, but most of the mothers that hire her actually hire her to help with the laundry. She's like,
So
Ma, I'm doing
interesting.
so much laundry.
So much laundry. I know. I try to work my cleaner also. Yeah, around laundry.
Delegate that. Delegate that. If
Yeah.
that's not your
Yeah.
strength, delegate it.
Yeah.
But have systems.
Yeah.
What happens is, where's the bottleneck when you don't have systems that are streamlined?
Yes.
People call me and they're like, the pantry's not working. Well, yeah, your pantry's not working because the flow in your kitchen is off. You think you're
Right.
going to all your bulk, your major Costco shopper, you have a tiny little pantry. It's not fitting that. You need a bulk zone. Where is that going? Or
Right.
let's say laundry. It's hard to put away the laundry if you don't know where it goes. Have designated
Yes.
spaces for each
Right.
category.
Right.
for
Right.
each kid. Make it eye level for the kid so that
Yes.
they can also do this and
Mm-hmm.
empower our kids. Do you know what a gift it is? I feel like this is like this generation is very into like breaking like generational traumas and cycles.
Yeah.
This is one of those things you could give your
Yeah.
children. It is
Right.
breaking the cycle. If you have a certain narrative about yourself, I'm not an organized type, I can't do this, my parents are packed, whatever it is, you're breaking generational patterns here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we are so done living that crowded over um stimulated environment that our
Mm-hmm.
grandparents or parents might have lived.
Right.
I mean, you're much younger, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's too much
Where
for
the behavior originates from may have been valid when it originated, but what are we doing with it now? Is it stopping you in your life?
exactly. And it was a survival mechanism for us. I mean, especially generational trauma. If you're a refugee, and I myself, my parents escaped Russia for religious freedom. Like I myself am first generation immigrant. How funny it
Yeah.
sounds. I'm
Yeah.
little, but still, it's you know, and being on, I guess, a refugee. It's a different mentality where you're holding on
Yeah.
because of survival.
Yeah.
But we're
But
past that.
yeah. We're past that. Your parents came here so you wouldn't need to have that. And if you're holding on to it, giving it over to your kids, what are like, why? I think it's so cool that you literally are children of refugees and you are helping people who have been in this country for generations, like, live their, like, see their life for what it is today as opposed to whatever narrative they're holding on to. I think that's really cool.
And you know what? I also believe that when we work on one area of life, I'm constantly working on myself, my internal,
Yeah.
breaking generational patterns that are no longer serving us.
Right.
You get when you work on one area, it spills over to other areas of your life.
Hmm. Hmm.
It could be
Yeah.
exercise, it could be the way you eat, it could be the way
Hmm.
the whatever it is, the routines in your life, the
Right.
financial literacy that you decide to get into. It it really impacts. It's like
Right.
it has
Right.
like
It's a positive spiral. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, God, like we hear this a lot. Like when you open up something the size of a pitchuli petach kepitchu shamachat, right? V'niftach lechem petach kepitchu shalam. Like all you have to do is open up a little bit. It doesn't matter what area you decide to work in. If you're passionate about it, Hashem will open up the world for you, right? That's kind of like the spiritual element of what you're saying.
and you could even take that very, very practically. I love that. I never actually, now that you said it, I never thought about it in an organizing perspective. I'm like, open up a little space. All you need is open up a
Yeah.
little space, and that could
Yeah.
actually get you on your journey of decluttering on a whole different
Yeah.
level.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Exactly. Just commit to starting. Call Adina, email Adina, text Adina. That's it. Okay.
Esther, you should be my branding strategist here. But I
Wait,
do,
let's, yeah.
yeah. What are you saying?
No, no, no. Say what you're gonna say, and then I want to just like
I
finally
would
just
love, I
contact
would
you.
love to offer your listeners a special gift if they're interested in the clutter course. If this resonated with them, learning the depth, and there's like a free intro also that they could watch just to see what the course is about and just learn, how learn more about clutter, I guess, and how it relates
Hmm.
to you and what they can do. This is amazing for anybody that has tried, that has a certain narrative about themselves, that's not confident about when to keep something, when not to keep something, and how. But also if you're living with different organizing personality types. So this will really help you understand the other person so much deeper, but also a tremendous self-awareness on your part. I've had people send me pictures and videos of amazing, amazing decluttering things. I know somebody who just got rid of things that were very dear to her, very sentimental, but they were no longer serving her. And she sent me a whole bunch of pictures, and they really were very, 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 very sentimental. But like that ship has sailed in her life. It
Yeah.
wasn't any more relevant in her life, and she was able to let go. And she shared that with me after she took the course. I was like, oh my gosh, this
Wow.
this is amazing. This is such
Yeah.
strength.
Yeah, yeah, it builds strength and it gives you clarity once it's all, it creates space. So you kind of answered my question because I was saying, let's say people want to, I was going to ask you, let's say people want to work with you remotely, like they're not in Cleveland and they can't experience one of your, so they kind of get access to the clutter course. Um, and do you do like virtual consults, sharing information? Like how else can people contact you or work with you?
I I limit my virtual consults. I do it, but very,
Mm-hmm.
very, very limited because I don't want to overwhelm my client more. It has to be somebody with I actually give you an organizing personality assessment, like every client gets
Mm,
one, to like
very cool.
figure out the best systems that are going to work for you and your personality type. So it has to be a certain kind that really can follow through because it can be very overwhelming, like giving all these instructions. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I do take limited virtual clients, but really that's not the I think a good start would be with the course. If
Okay. A good
you're
start
not
is with the course.
well, it will I've had professional organizers buy that course. That's another thing that I help other organizers if they're needing um really understand their clients on a whole deeper level
Mm-hmm.
and just different tools of the trade and whatnot. So that or I made the course for just regular not regular people but like not non-professionals, and I've had a lot of professionals buy that course as well. So
Wow.
it's either you're amateur or professional. I There's something in it for you, and it talks about yeah, and it has my 5-step formula that you can apply to any space. This is tried and true. This is the formula that's going to help you organize. And there are videos and transcripts and notes. It just, like I said, I was a teacher, so I try to like get every modality in
Mm-hmm.
um, to help.
Okay, so you're saying
You
that's
know,
where people can start, and then if they want to contact you, I'll put your email also in the notes.
yeah, but if they want to have fun, follow me on Instagram. We
Yeah,
have lots
or
of fun
Instagram
there.
can be fun. Yeah.
Mastermyspace.com. I mean, no, mastermyspace.com is my website, which you could get the course there.
Yeah.
Um, but Instagram, like follow our
Yeah.
before and after transformations
Yeah.
and behind the
Yeah.
scenes, and all the fun happens
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. You'll see all of the beautiful work. I'll link everything in the show notes, like your website, your Instagram.
I
Adina, thank you for doing this. This nourished me. I was like, I knew I wanted to hear everything you had to say. I was so excited for this, and it delivered beyond what I could have imagined. And I'm really grateful for you taking the time. And thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you for coming on.
Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for hosting. You're an amazing, amazing hostess. This was
Thank
such
you
a
so much.
pleasure. It really was. I hope it helped somebody.
Yeah, God willing.
They definitely can reach out to me on Instagram if they
Yeah,
have questions
perfect.
or whatnot. I'd love to hear if this resonated with them.
Okay,
Um,
amazing.
if they have any questions.
Thank
Okay.
you.